What's up, guys? Welcome to Life Knowledge. My name is Justin Alphabet. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe down below. Stay to the end of the video so you get all the information that you need. Today we're going to be talking about the most important thing in relationships. Okay, so for many of you young folk out there, you might think that, chemistry or compatibility or whatever are the most important things in relationships, and we're going to talk about that. But you're going to be surprised, I think, at what the most important thing is in a relationship. And it's actually kind of a two-part thing. But first, let's talk about your brain. So first off, we have the brain, which is developed into two different sections. We have the conscious mind up here, and we have the subconscious mind down here. And in the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, there's also a divider between the two. Sometimes people call them right-brained people, and some people call them left-brained people, and that's in the conscious mind typically. On the left brain, it's more logical. You can think logical left, I don't know if that worked, but logical is left and right is emotional. And in relationship dynamics, typically women are more emotional or more right-brained, which can be a little bit more chaotic and more creative and beautiful, right? And on the opposite side, we have more logical side, which is the masculine side typically in relationship attraction, which is more logical, more ordered, more structured and focused, right? And this is obviously a stereotype and not the same for every person. However, it's the majority and the stereotype typical attraction. If you think about two magnets, we have a positive side and a negative side, and the positive and the negative need to go together because a negative and negative will repel each other, and a positive and a positive will repel each other also. So you need to have a masculine dynamic and a feminine dynamic for most relationships to survive long term. However, some people can, make it with other things, but they won't have the same kind of closeness. They might not or possibly won't have the same closeness as a positive and a negative coming together in unity with magnetism and attraction. So we have a couple different things that make people come together in a relationship. You need both the logic and you need both the emotion. So you need thoughts and words and things like that and logic, and you need emotions and colors and feelings and feels coming together, right? And also, I want to point out that both men and women have both two sides of their brain, right? You have a logical side and you have a logical side and you have an emotional side as a man, and you have a logical side and you have an emotional side as a woman. Obviously, typically, with men and women, some gravitate towards one or the other, right? A majority of women gravitate towards the emotional, and a majority of men gravitate towards the logical, stereotypically. And so, in a relationship, there are two different factors that people often, try to go for to find a partner, which develops into a logical side and an emotional side, which we call compatibility and we call love, right? The loving side is the emotional side and the feelings and the feeling of love, which a lot of people know doesn't last. And then we also have the compatibility side, which a lot of people don't know also doesn't last. Your compatibility over years and years of time does not last. And oftentimes in arranged marriages, it can be difficult where, like, you choose a partner based off compatibility because people believe that will last longer. However, what I wanted to mention is that, like, both compatibility and both love don't last forever. Compatibility may last a little bit longer than love, but sometimes people's love lasts longer than compatibility, right? So neither one is completely perfect. You can't have, that's not what's going to take you to 80 plus years of being in a marriage. And I've been studying people who've, completely been through 80 plus years of marriage, and they're old and they've lived their entire lives together, and it's beautiful. But something that I realized is that these people, when they first started out in marriage, are not the same people that they started out as. If you look at their wedding pictures, if you look at their dating pictures, if you look at their pictures through life, they've grown, right? They become people. They become someone that is much different than they were at the beginning, right? They've evolved. They've evolved into a new person. They've been through hard times. They've been through a roller coaster of emotions and compatibility, right? There are, right now where you are in your life, you may be compatible with your partner, but in the future you may not be compatible with your partner on certain days and certain times, right? And same with love. You may love your partner now, but maybe tomorrow you don't. You never know. They could do something that could really hurt you. And what I've discovered and what I've found out is that the relationships that last the longest, the true most important part of being in a relationship and having relationship longevity is a commitment to growth and loyalty. Obviously, with the loyalty is the structure of the relationship, right? It's kind of the thing that binds people together, but growth is also part of that as well. Loyalty is necessary because, it's a commitment. A relationship is a commitment to a long-term future together. And then the growth is important because people change. Love changes and compatibility changes. The person I am today, right now, is not the same person I was 20 years ago. The person you are today is not the same person you were a year ago, right? And to prove my point on that, scientists have done a little bit of a study where they have, studied and seen people's chemical makeup on a molecular level. Every cell, every molecule in your body changes completely after 7 years. So you literally become a different person on a cellular level after 7 years. Every cell in your body has changed completely every 7 years. And so 7 years ago, you were a completely different person than right now. Every cell in your body, every molecule. So that's kind of crazy, right? And so if you think about it like that on a physical level, the same is with our brain. Every cell in your brain has changed somehow. I don't know how nobody knows how we still keep our memories. It might be something electrical. It might be something spiritual through God or something of that nature. However, no one truly knows. But the point here being is that growth, it changes over time. Your body changes, your mindset changes, your thoughts, your thought patterns, your habits, they all change. And, they can change for the worse and they can change for the better. It's your choice, right? But, and the same goes with your partner. Your partner can, choose choices for the better, and they can also choose choices for the worse, and you don't have control over that. However, you do have control of your commitment and your boundaries and things of that nature. So establish happy, firm boundaries in the relationship. Create a life that you both want to do together. Allow your partner to have mistakes and, allow them to grow, allow them to evolve, because they're going to make mistakes. And you are too. And so give them the same grace that you expect when, you mess up, and give them that, because they're going to mess up. And if you're harsh on them, then they're going to be harsh on you. So don't be too harsh on people when they mess up. Have understanding, realize that people are still growing at all times, but keep yourself protected and have firm boundaries, because in a relationship, there's 3 different levels. Level 1, or level, 3, I guess, is the lowest level is what I'm going to call it, is a dependent relationship. And you don't want this in a romantic relationship. A dependent relationship is essentially a parent-child relationship. If you have that dynamic in your relationship, chances are it won't last, because one person is doing all the giving and one person is doing all the taking. A child is dependent because they need to take everything from their parent, and the parent is giving them everything, right? And if you have that in a romantic relationship, typically the parent either will become resentful after a long time of carrying this child, and the child will become, constantly needy and annoying to the parent, right? Eventually, you have to become an adult. You have to do it. You can't just rely on someone forever. You can't just have someone carry you everywhere. So beyond that, that's the lowest level. We have the second level, which is codependency. The first level is dependency. The second level is codependency. In codependency, it's where both people put in some effort, but they're giving everything that they have to the other person. So like if I gave everything I was to my significant other and she gave everything that she was to me, right? And unfortunately, that doesn't really work because I'm a masculine and she's a feminine. And it's like I'm the positive side of the magnet and my body, resonates positively, and she's the negative side of the magnet and her body resonates negatively, right? But when if you think of it like cups, right? Like let's say I have a positively masculine charged cup and I have masculine juice in that cup, right? And then she has a negatively charged cup and it's filled with, feminine negatively charged juice. And both are very important for a relationship dynamic. But if I pour all the contents of my cup into her, all my masculinity into her, and she pours all of her femininity into me, I won't be happy and she won't be happy. Because both of us need to have our own masculine center and her own feminine center, right? If she doesn't have her feminine center and I don't have my masculine center, our relationship won't work. We won't like each other for who we are. We'll repel each other and because she's attracted to a positive masculinity and I'm attracted to a negative femininity, right? And so what we were and what we are will change and we won't be attracted to each other anymore and the relationship will fall apart with codependency. So this leads us to the next level, which is an interdependent relationship. That's the highest level of relationship. And the way that I've kind of like explained it to people is there's her cup, right? And there's my cup, my masculine cup, her feminine cup, and then there's a third cup, which is our relationship, right? And the way that our relationship thrives is that we both fill up our own cup to the top. We're not, borrowing any from the other person. We're not relying on the other person for any juice. We fill up our own juice. We are our own happiness. We are our own health. We have our own boundaries. We have our own goals, our own everything. And then in our relationship, we both pour some into the relationship cup. It's a separate entity and we both come together to fill up that cup and create a full and beautiful and happy life with a mixture of both feminine and relationship and masculine in our relationship. And we keep making sure that our happiness is, good with ourselves. We're both full of happiness. She is full of happiness and I'm full of happiness. And we bring both of our happinesses forward and share them together. And that's what an interdependent relationship looks like. And oftentimes in relationships, some people need more help. Some people are able to put more juice in. Some people are able to, work together and carry things in a different way. And there are obviously lots of different relationship dynamics. But that's obviously the one we all want to shoot for and be the happiest with, because if you're happy and she's happy, then everyone's happy. It's not a man's responsibility to make his woman happy, and it's not a woman's responsibility to make a man happy. You're both supposed to make yourself happy and then bring that happiness together. Share in your happiness. And so it's kind of like if you think about soccer players. If you've seen two soccer players pass a ball back and forth, they're both competent soccer players. They both have different strengths, but they're both able to pass the ball back and forth. The ball is essentially the relationship that keeps them together. And you have to pass it back and forth, and you have to dribble it together. Sometimes one is dribbling the soccer ball for a little bit longer and then passes it back, and the other person dribbles it for a little bit longer and then passes it back. But ultimately, they're on the same team. They wear the same jersey, which is that, center relationship cup, and that ball is what keeps them together, keeps them moving forward with the same common goal and the same, North Star. A lot of people put God as their North Star because it's something outside of their self. It's constant and it's perfect and something you're constantly striving for, and that's a good, purpose. However, you can do it with other things as well. You can do it with money, you can do it with fame, you can do it with other things. But obviously all those things are temporary, and so they won't, have lasting fulfillment, and once you achieve that, you have to have another North Star, and that's why sometimes relationships fall apart. But that's why growth is important, is because, you know, as you have growth in your relationship and you need growth and loyalty, you can change your North Star as you go throughout life. Like, let's say, for example, you and your partner have worked really hard and you've achieved your dream home, right? You've got your dream home. But eventually you'll have another dream home, right? Your dream home now is great and it's amazing and it's exactly what you want. But as you evolve throughout time, as you grow throughout life, you may have other dreams and goals, and that's okay because you're evolving through life. You're changing. Every 7 years, every cell in your body is changing, every molecule. So, yeah, that's basically it, guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment them below. Thank you for watching. I hope you have the day you deserve. Let's level up, and I'll see you in the next one.